Hi, I'm Luan Aiken with Tagawa Gardens here in Centennial, Colorado on a nice rainy spring day where we are thinking not so much rain but dry. We're here with Dee, who is a tropical horticulturist. She's our houseplant manager at Tagawa's, and we are going to talk about succulents, not just cactus.
And other succulents.
Yeah, and succulents are basically water holding?
Yeah, they're any plant that has water holding capability or some sort of storage organ.
Okay, and so these are things that are really becoming increasingly popular.
They sure are. They're showing up in all the magazines and people are more excited about them. Can't keep them on the shelves.
And it's kind of a little sophistication, be different than your neighbor.
Yeah, and I like the simplicity of them, and they can go in almost any decor. I think they look very nice.
Succulents by nature need a lot of light?
They do. They need about 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight. You want to make sure that they are getting that direct sunlight or their growth will be very leggy.
A little spindly?
Yeah, there's a few like the Christmas cactus and some that are what we call forest cactus, but they live in dappled light, but just ask and we'll be able to tell you.
So Dee has picked out this lovely little oval kind of bowl-shaped terracotta pot, and I notice
nice big hole.
Huge drainage. Drainage. Why is terracotta good for succulents?
Terracotta breathes a lot better. You can use glazed clay, and that's fine. Just make sure that there's a good drainage hole in there. I like the clay. For one, when it's wet, the clay changes color, and that allows me to tell if the plant's drying out or not.
We've covered the hole with a little piece of landscape fabric. You could use a coffee filter. Make life simple. So show me how you would go about. And tell me about this soil that you're using.
This is a cactus soil media. I like to use 1 part cactus soil media to 1 part potting soil, especially for the succulents. Cactus, I would use it by itself, just the plain cactus media. This is a very well-draining soil that it doesn't clump, and that's one way to tell if it's good, is as long as it doesn't stick together. But this has volcanic rock in it. The main reason why we're using this, if you use just regular potting soil, when it gets dry, it turns into a brick. Right. And it's really hard to rehydrate.
What would you like to plant first here? How would we go about
I usually start with the tallest one first, and you just loosen the soil up. Of course, I just watered these, and so they're going to fall apart, and that's okay. Now, if it's really root bound, you're going to loosen up the soil just a little bit, but most succulents and cactus have very tiny root systems. We're going to try to get the soil level about the same as the other ones. Try to keep it the same. If you don't want to bury the plants and you don't want them too high up. See, this one has a much better little root.
Holding together nicely.
This is a nice trailer. I'm going to put this in the front so it trails over the edge of the pot.
Drape over the side of the pot.
I usually work in 3s or 5s, odd numbers. I try to find something that gives you some height, something that trails over, and then a mid-size plant.
These are coming out of real gravelly soil, and you're just trying to recreate that.
Exactly. A lot of times when you buy the plants from the mass markets, they'll come in that clay, which tends to be harder to work with, and you just want to flare that out. Try to get rid of any of the loose soil that's in there, because all that's going to do is cause little pockets.
Glom onto
and I like to pack them in pretty good and tight. Don't get a big pot and put a whole bunch of little tiny plants. Get a smaller pot and try to pack it in there. A lot of times they just get lost, and so that's the main thing on that.
We're going to save our stickers.
I am going to save my tags just so I know what I got. And then we're going to just move the soil in.
Now, should I run right out and water this?
No, you're going to want to wait about 3 days after you transplant. Your first instinct is to give it water, and we want those roots to callus over. And then I'm just pushing around the edges just to push out any air holes and maybe give it a slight tap. And then we're going to put a top dressing just for decoration. You don't have to put in the top dressing at first. Sometimes, no, and I'll go ahead and do it. The main thing about putting top dressing is it makes it a little harder to figure out if it's dry or not.
Oh, okay.
And that's the problem with most soils. The nice thing about cactus soil, when it's dry and you dig into it, it's going to be dusty. And that's one way of telling you. That's a great clue.
Okay, and fertilizer?
Fertilizer, I do half strength about every other watering to once a month. You don't have to feed right away. I advise waiting about a month, if not longer. The soils already contain fertilizer in them. Main thing, water the plant in first, especially if it's bone dry, before you fertilize.
Before you fertilize.
Yeah, you don't have to use any special cactus fertilizer. Any all-purpose is fine. Just remember to water in first.
Here at Tagawa's, we carry succulents all year round. We have the information all year round. So come see us at Tagawa's about succulents or anything else. We would be happy to help you be green and grow.